welcome back to this video series. This is your instructor Dhruvi Bhatt talking about types of markets. Heard the word market, right? What exactly is a market? What are different types of markets? I am here to clarify all your doubts today. A market, students, is a place where two parties can gather to facilitate exchange of goods and services. The parties involved are obviously the buyers and the sellers. They are usually the buyers and the sellers. Of course, government can be there sometimes. So, market is a place where some type of transaction occurs. Different types of markets are there. Share market is a market, vegetable market is a market, your fruit vendor is a market. Any type of exhibition is a market. Everything around you where buyers and sellers interact is a market. Amazon is a market, Flipkart is a market. It is an online market. Your Infi store is a market. So, everything around you where some type of transaction, buying and selling occurs is a market. A place where buyers and sellers meet up for some type of transactions is known as a market. Moving further, let us try to know what are the types of markets based upon the type of competition. Students, as the competition decreases, the type of market changes. Basically, there are four types of market. The most competitive one is a perfect competition. After that, we have monopolistic competition. After that, we have oligopoly. And last but not the least, we have monopoly. These are four types of markets which you can find in any economy. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, last but not the least, monopoly. These four types of markets will be studied in much detail here by us. Starting with the first type of market, which is a highly competitive market having perfect competition. Students, nothing is perfect in this world. So, perfect competition and perfect monopoly, these two are illusionary concepts. We will study these markets in theoretical concept, but ideally in practical scenarios, such type of markets do not exist because it is an ideal condition. Idealistic things do not exist, do they? Perfect competition and monopoly is a theoretical concept, but we would study their examples which are nearly similar to the theoretical concept, and we would try to understand that why perfect competition is not possible. Let us see what is meant by perfect competition and some of its examples. A perfect competitive market is one in which the number of buyers and sellers is very large. All engaged in buying and selling a homogeneous product without any artificial restrictions and possessing perfect knowledge of the market at a time. Okay, many things there to grasp. There are many buyers and there are many sellers. All the sellers are selling exactly the same product. Homogeneous product means same product. All the sellers are selling homogeneous or same type of product. There are no artificial restrictions. Any seller can enter the market, any seller can exit the market. There are no restriction on the sellers, there are no restriction on the buyers. Everyone is having perfect knowledge of the market, which means everyone knows that what is the price of a particular commodity. Everyone knows that everyone here is selling the same thing. Everyone knows everything. Everything is perfect here. Getting any idea of any such type of market? Anyone? I think some of you got it right. Vegetable market is an example of perfect competition. Agricultural market or vegetable market. Here there are many vendors. I myself can collect some goods from an agricultural market and start selling them in my trolley somewhere. There is no restriction on selling these type of products. There is not much investment also. So it is easy for people to open up a vegetable market or an agricultural market. So there is large number of buyers, large number of sellers. What is meant by large number, students? 5,000, 50,000, 50 lakhs? What is a large number? Here, large number means a single seller entering into the market or leaving the market does not impact the remaining market. Then it is known as large number. A single seller or a single buyer is so minute or so ineffective that a single person not buying vegetables will not affect the vegetable market. A single seller not selling vegetables will not affect the vegetable market. The market survives on its own because there are large number of people involved in it. Other type of perfectly competitive market, nearly perfectly competitive market, the exact scenario as I told you is not possible, because as you would be knowing, all the vegetable vendors do not sell at same price. We have different prices in different areas, right? In Ahmedabad itself, we would be having different vendors charging different prices according to the locality they are standing in, according to what people can afford in that locality. So this is not exactly a perfect competition, but theoretically it is meant to be a perfect competition. We do not follow it, that's some other detail. Okay, second type of perfectly competitive market is foreign exchange market, where you go and exchange your currency for some foreign currency, is said to be in perfect competition because the exchange rate is fixed, the price is fixed, the product is fixed. I want to get Canadian dollars, I'll go out, give Indian rupees and get Canadian dollars. So the currency is fixed, the commodity is fixed, the rate is fixed, everything is fixed. In this market, we have perfect competition. Thirdly, even the gold market is said to be in perfect competition. I am talking about gold bars here, not gold ornaments. Ornaments would be different product by each and every jeweler, but each and every one will be having gold bars valued at the same price which is on that particular day. So it would be a homogeneous product. There would be large number of jewelers selling it, large number of buyers buying it, and there is no artificial restriction. Or is it? Yes, there are artificial restrictions, but as I told you, these are some examples which are nearby. Last type is a fish market. Fish market, everyone selling fish, homogeneous product and at almost the same price. These are the example of some of the markets having perfect competition. Let us study some of the characteristics of this type of market. Characteristics of perfect competition. First, as every one of you know, it consists of large number of buyers and large number of sellers. I've said it enough number of times, I hope you remember this. Secondly, there is freedom of entry and exit in the market. Obviously, how can large number take place? Because entry and exit is free. Anyone can enter. So, the number of sellers got to be large. Thirdly, each and everyone is selling a homogeneous product, same product. One more thing, here there is an absence of artificial restrictions. There is no restriction on any seller about the quantity to sell, about the price to sell. The price is automatically decided by the market. There are no artificial restrictions on seller or buyers. Moving forward, here all the sellers would be having profit maximization goals. Because each one of them is selling a homogeneous product, they will sell at a price at which they can get maximum profit. Also, we would assume that there is perfect mobility of goods and factors of production. Otherwise, if these factors are not mobile, then at one particular place the vegetables could be sold and at another place the vegetables would not be able to sell, and some people will have to travel long distances for buying these vegetables. So we are assuming here that if there is perfect competition, we need that everything is perfectly mobile. Everything can be transferred anywhere and without any transportation costs. Moreover, we as buyers and all the sellers, both of them have perfect knowledge of market conditions. Everyone knows that everyone here is selling exactly the same thing at exactly the same price. Everything would be sold at exactly same price. Remember this, large number of sellers selling same type of product, selling at same price. Okay students, but this is possible, as I told you, only if there is absence of transportation costs. There are no transportation costs incurred. Otherwise, at locations nearer to the agricultural field, vegetables would be sold at a lesser price, and farther away, vegetables would be sold at a higher price, because they will have to add transportation cost to incur profit. So we are assuming that there are no transportation costs. Obviously. Okay, the last characteristic says that also the selling costs are absent. What is meant by selling cost? Selling cost is advertisement cost. Have you seen any people advertising about vegetables? Students, it is illogical to advertise in a perfectly competitive market. What will happen? I will give you an example. Suppose we all are selling the exactly same product, which is the apples. Everyone is selling apples. I am very intelligent, and so I thought that I'll advertise my apples, and so I'll get more customers, because we all do have profit maximization goal. I will advertise my apples. I gave an advertisement in television that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and you must all eat apples and take apple from my brand. This is the best quality apple, etc. That advertisement cost me 2 lakh rupees. This additional cost, obviously to maximize profit, I will have to incur from the customers. So my apples would be costlier than other apples. Here I came out of the perfect competition, because I am not selling at the same price. Everyone is selling at say 50 rupees, but my apples would be costing 100 rupees a kg. People will see my advertisement for which I incurred a cost, but they will not buy from me because my apples are 100 rupees. They will buy from others whose apples are 50 rupees. They have the perfect knowledge of the market. They know that everyone's quality is same. That is why you shouldn't do advertisement in a perfectly competitive market. One more thing, students, what do you think about the price of apples? In perfect competition, are the sellers price makers or price takers? Can they quote their own price and make profit? Answer is no. They cannot quote their own price. They are price takers. The market decides the price on their own by the equilibrium of supply and demand. By the equilibrium of supply and demand, the market decides the price on everyday basis. The same is the case with foreign exchange market. The same is the case with gold market. According to supply demand ratio, the market decides the price, and all the sellers have to just go with the flow, have to just go with the price. They are price takers, not price makers. Talking about the next type of market here, which is monopolistic competition. What is meant by monopolistic competition? Students, monopolistic competition market is a market situation where there are many firms all selling differentiated products. Their products are differentiated. Here again we have large number of sellers. Buyers would always be in large number. Large number of sellers, large number of products, but each seller selling something different. This is a real scenario. My apples are different than his apples. Mine are of better quality. That is monopolistic competition. I am selling the same type of product, but my product is different from other seller in some way. The color might be different, the price might be different, the quality might be different, anything. Here, there are large number of sellers. Okay, students, you might get confused between monopolistic competition and oligopoly. Say for example, if I ask you mobile phones, they are not in monopolistic competition because there are not large number of sellers. If you can list down the sellers in terms of brands, then it is not monopolistic competition. In monopolistic competition, you cannot list down, or you aren't able to list down that who are selling this type of products. Let us see some examples of monopolistic competition. The hotels and restaurants are in monopolistic competitions. The dry cleaners are in monopolistic competition. The repair workers are in monopolistic competition who do repairs and maintenance. Because there are large number of people doing each of these things, apart from this, we have many examples like the vendors selling plastic products like plastic buckets, tubs, etc. They are in monopolistic competition. The street side vendors who are selling jewelry, earrings and stuff, those are in monopolistic competition. The vendors selling toothbrushes of different type are in monopolistic competition. All these are in monopolistic competition. How will you identify? You cannot just make a list of hotel and restaurant owners. There are many, starting from a small dhaba to a 5-star restaurant. So, all these would be in monopolistic competition. The difference is each mechanic is giving you something different. Each mechanic has a different skill and he is taking the money for his skills. So these are in monopolistic competition where they are charging for the difference they are making inside the product. Because they are selling a differentiated product, their prices may be different from each other. Also, hairdressers is also an example of monopolistic competition. Let us see the characteristics of monopolistic competition. First and foremost, as I told you, there are large number of sellers and large number of buyers, and that is why entry and exit would obviously be free. Wherever you see the word large number of sellers, there would be free entry and exit, because only if entry and exit is free, the sellers would get to be large in number. They all are selling differentiated products. They are not selling the same product but different products. Also, the nature of demand curve in monopolistic competition is different from the nature of demand curve in perfect competition. Here the demand curve is more steep because as they are selling differentiated products, there is a possibility that even at higher prices, people will tend to buy such type of products. Next, we have these firms having interdependent behavior. Okay, let us think about the prices. Are they price makers or price takers? They can make price because they are giving out something different, but they are interdependent on each other. If one person is selling a bucket at 50 rupees, you cannot sell at 500 rupees. People want bucket. If they want a better quality, they may pay 10 to 20 rupees extra. You can sell your bucket at 60 rupees or 70 rupees. You cannot sell your bucket at 500 rupees because people would then start buying buckets from other vendors, because there is not much difference in the products. The differences are comparatively small, and these firms are interdependent on each other. They are interdependent on each other, which means that they behave in a way where they decide the prices depending on the prices of other sellers. Moreover, we have product groups which are in monopolistic competition. Entire product group formulates a monopolistic competition and not a single product. Also, these products are in non-price competition too. Here the difference can not only be in products but also in price. Someone is selling toothbrush at 10 rupees, you are selling the same type and same quality of toothbrush at 8 rupees. Then you are said to be in monopolistic competition. So, there can be price competition as well as non-price competition in basis of terms and quality. Okay, last but not the least, here we do have selling costs. Because all the sellers are selling something different, they need to advertise their product to tell the difference to the customers so that the customers will buy from them and not from others. So, here we do have selling costs or advertisement costs. Moving forward to the next type of market, which is oligopoly. In oligopoly, remember one thing, oligopoly is a market structure where there are few firms or a few sellers who are selling either homogeneous or differentiated product. It doesn't make a difference. They might be selling exactly the same product or different products. The most important point here is that there are only few sellers. The sellers are comparatively less in numbers. You can count them. Examples of products in oligopoly are the media channels, news channels, the cellular networks, Vodafone, Airtel, etc. Your favorite social media, your favorite soft drinks, cold drinks, or even hard drinks for that matter. All these are an oligopoly. We have few sellers or few producers who are producing and selling such type of products. Here there are few sellers but buyers are in large number. They might be selling exactly the same product or products with slight difference. Maaza and Slice have slight difference. All the news channels, they are giving out the same gossip but with a little difference, little more masala in some of them and little less in some other channels. Here, they might be selling same or differentiated products, but the important point to remember is that there are only few sellers. Let us see the characteristics of oligopoly. There are few sellers but there are large number of buyers. Large number of buyers and few number of sellers. Okay. Moreover, they can be selling either same or differentiated products, and here also there is interdependence on each other. You might be thinking that, ma'am, if there are few number of sellers, how are they interdependent on each other? If they want to make more profit, they can take over the entire market and sell their product to everyone. This is the mistake which Jio tried doing and it failed. It thought of capturing the entire market and not trying to inculcate other cellular companies while doing so. But at point of time, it realized its mistake. It had to form a part of the cartel there, and because it was dependent on other cellular networks, it had to join hands with others. It started using the network of Vodafone, didn't it? So, there is interdependence of these companies on each other. Why so? If you try to capture the entire market, you alone would not be able to make such high production. You will be having quite less capacity. You will not be able to cater to all the people around, and that is why you are interdependent. It is for both your benefits that there are these few sellers who are targeting on different customers. If all the customers come to you, then you will not be able to manage such lot of people easily. Because there are only few sellers, it is a better option if work is properly distributed amongst these few sellers. Here the advertisements play a very huge role in oligopoly to earn that little extra profit, to make sure that a particular customer starts using your product instead of your competitors, advertisements are the key. You would have seen the advertisements of all the products that are in oligopoly. May it be of soft drinks, may it be of mobile phones, may it be of cellular networks, all the advertisements which you see, all those products are in oligopoly. Moreover, here there is very high competition, both price and non-price one. They fight upon quality, they fight upon price. They are in high competition, but there are few number of sellers, so everyone is earning profit. Not to worry at that point. Moving forward, there is barrier to entry and exit of the firm. Obviously, why there would be few sellers? Because entry is restricted. Either they do not know the formula of making the product, or investment might be too high, or there are people who are already catering to the entire society and there is no option or there is no space for any other player to enter into the market. There are barriers to entry of these firms. Last but not the least, there is lack of uniformity in oligopoly. All the firms do not work in uniform or same manner. Each one of them works in a different manner, works with a different price and fights the competition with a different price. These were the characteristics of oligopoly. Talking about the price, are they price makers or price takers? Yes, you guessed it right, they are price makers, but they make the price by forming a cartel. They sit together and decide the lower limit and upper limit of charging the consumers. You might be seeing that Coke and Pepsi are in similarly same price. If Thumbs Up is of maybe 30 rupees for 500 ml, then Pepsi would be of 35 rupees of 500 ml. There would not be very high difference. These companies would sit together and decide the minimum price and maximum price. If not by sitting together, they will learn from the market and they will keep the prices near to each other so that it is easy for consumers to switch from one brand to another within the same price range. They make their own prices but in accordance with each other. If someone tries to break up this cartel or break up this union, then he or she might suffer opposition from other sellers in the market. And as I told you, they have interdependence on each other and you do not want opposition. Lastly, talking about the last type of market, perfect monopoly. There is only one seller selling only single type of product. Here there is a market situation where only one seller of a product sells that product and there are huge barriers to entry. No other seller can enter the market at all. This is only possible with government, and government also nowadays is looking out for privatization, and that is why many companies would go inside it. As I already told you, perfect monopoly is also a dream. Perfect monopoly is an idealistic condition and it is just a dream. But as I already told you, we would try to understand some of the examples which are in near monopoly. Examples can be Hindustan Aeronauticals Limited, which is government owned, that is why it is in monopoly. Similarly, IRCTC, it is also government owned and that is why it is in monopoly. I think maybe until you see this video, these also would have been privatized and there is a possibility that they might not be in monopoly too. Perfect monopoly is very impossible in any type of market structure and it can be maintained maybe by government but none other players, because you cannot restrict so much that no other seller can enter the market at all. Let us see some characteristics of monopoly. There would be large number of buyers. Remember this, there is one seller but number of buyers is large. There is large number of buyers but there is only one seller selling only a single product. There are no substitutes for this product. For example, IRCTC is traveling by Indian Railway. There is no other brand or company which sells railway tickets. We do have substitutes, like we can travel by car from one destination to another, or by aeroplane or any other mode of transport. But as I told you, perfect monopoly is impossible. In perfect monopoly, there are no substitutes at all to the product the seller is selling. Also, there is high restriction to entry and exit. The existing player cannot exit and no other player can enter. In monopoly, the sellers are price makers. They can quote their own price because they are in monopoly. They can quote their own price, but they can either quote the price or the demand. The law of demand is true also for the products in monopoly, where if you raise the price too high, its demand might decrease, and if you keep the price too low, its demand might increase a lot. So you will have to manage your price and demand accordingly. According to your production, you will keep your prices. Moving forward, monopoly market is unreal. It is not real. Perfect monopoly does not exist in any economy. It is just a theoretical concept. Also, there are many problems or barriers which occur to the entry and exit. Barriers can be price as well as non-price one. There is a possibility that there might be government restrictions, or there might be some chemical formula which is not owned by any other company. This is also one type of barrier. Last but not the least, as I told you, demand curve is applicable in monopoly too. As the price rises, the demand decreases. So you need to assign the prices according to the demand curve. Okay students, that was all about markets. Thank you so much for such patiently listening to me. This is Dhruvi Bhatt signing off. Until next time, bye-bye.